Hey everybody, today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about my top tips for being a working mom during the summer and also going to be giving away some of our amazing nickel and suede earrings. Tune in to hear details on how you can win that giveaway. Welcome to the podcast with Kilee Nichols. The goal of this podcast is to inspire you through both my story and the stories of other powerhouse women to take that first step towards living the best version of your life. So grab a notebook, grab a pen, and get ready to get started with Kilee Nichols. Hey everybody, happy Friday. I'm Kilee and you are listening to the With Kilee Nichols podcast. This podcast is for women who want to push outside their comfort zone and try new things and really try to find ways to live their best life. And today's episode goes right into that. Excited that it's summertime and there's so much to think about in the summer, and especially being a mom, especially being a working mom. So today I wanted to talk about tips for being a working mom during the summer and things that I've learned and how I'm approaching summer this year. So, summer's here. We had I'd say it was a fast school year. I mean, I think COVID school year was incredibly slow and weird. There's been a lot to navigate this school year for the kids, but it's gone by pretty fast and suddenly we're here at the end of it. So we're officially in my kids' first week of summer. We just got back after a long Memorial Day weekend. If you listened to the podcast last week, we were getting ready to go camping and we survived. I'm back. We survived camping. It was pretty rough. I'm not going to lie. We were hiking in, pulling wagon loads of things into our tents. It was cold, but the kids had a great time. All 5 of my boys just played in the mud and in the river and all the things all weekend. So, had a good weekend. Now we're back and summer's here. In the past, that would have struck a little fear into my heart because it's like, what am I going to do with the kids? How am I going to get any work done? But this year I feel like I have a good schedule and a good plan. We had a nanny for the last year during school, but I had to find a new one for summer. And so that was a little stressful, but we're here. I feel like I'm in a good place. And so today, wanted to talk to working moms and even some stay-at-home moms about tips for getting organized this summer and how to feel good while you work, while kids are home, and having the summertime that you want to have as a family. So for the first couple of years, lots of years of my kids' life, I was a stay-at-home mom. And so summertime didn't really feel that different than the school year because we were home. I was home with little kids. It's kind of like how the weekend doesn't feel that different as a parent. There just was time to fill. And, summertime is hot. There was time at the pool, but had lots of good summer days. But in the last couple of years, I've gone to work full time and really had to figure out how to help my kids have a good summer experience while I was at work trying to get stuff done. So got about 5 tips I think that'll help and are helping me feel good about this summer. So the first one is to get organized. I think being a working parent, the best thing you can do for yourself is to be organized and have a schedule all the time. But it's even more important in the summer. So over the last couple of months, I've been looking at getting kids enrolled in summer camps, and that takes being organized and being diligent. But each of the kids has a couple of different things through the school district or through some local camps where they can go for a couple days. Most of them are not overnight, but just during the day activities where they can learn a skill or practice something. So like tonight, tennis camp kicks off for 2 of the kids, and they just have a couple evenings of learning tennis and trying that out. So got them enrolled in camps. Our school district also does summer school, but for our school district, summer school is a good thing. It's actually kind of going over all the things from the school year and then doing some fun things in the afternoon. So as a working parent in my school district, I enrolled my kids in summer school. So they actually start this week and they will be going for the whole month of June, which is really awesome and helps keep the kids on a schedule. So what I think is important for summer is that kids can kind of still stay on a schedule. I don't do well if suddenly I just have tons and tons of free time and no plans and nothing to do, and I stay up late and I get up late. And so I do feel the same thing for the kids. Like they still need to stay in a routine. So even though we go to bed a little later or maybe we sleep in a little bit longer, I try to keep them in some kind of a routine. And then there's other things you can put on the calendar and get organized with, whether it's the library summer reading program or just other little programs throughout the summer. I try to block those all into my calendar with my schedule. Also, tip number 2 would be to get help. So as a working parent, you probably already have a lot of help, but I would say lean into that even more. Or if you're new to being a working parent, I know a lot of women maybe have started a job or started a career, or started a company in the last couple of years. Lean into getting help. So like I said, we have a new nanny that started this week, and I was able to find her through care.com. Highly recommend. Not sponsored, but care.com really is a great place to connect you with local childcare and babysitters. And when she started, we'd had our previous nanny for the last year, and I felt like, oh man, how am I going to tell her, this new nanny, everything? And she's going to be with the kids a lot more when they're not in school and they have all these activities. How can I make sure she knows everything? And so I spent the last couple of days putting together a Nichols family operating manual. And so I went through, and I still haven't thought of everything. I'm still going to be editing it and adding to it. But I went through and I just put down everything I could think of on paper as to how our family runs and how the kids run and how things operate their best. And that way she's got a quick reference. So I know whenever I started a new job and somebody tries to tell me everything, I don't remember any of it until you're kind of in the middle of it. And so it would be nice to go back and be able to refer to something. So I'm trying to kind of treat our family the same way I treat our business. Like, what's the best way this operates? How does everybody operate best? So it's got everything from, emergency contacts and insurance and where the car keys are kept and what our garage door code is, to what do the kids like to eat for lunch, and what are some activities that we do inside, or what are some activities we do going out and about in the city? What do the dogs need? I made a page for each kid, and I just put like Rush summer 2021, and I listed out everything I could think of that's important to him, or he cares about, or he tries to communicate it about, or he likes to eat, or he hates to eat, and just like a quick snapshot for her to get to know them. And so I'm hoping, it's probably felt like overload or too much information for her, but I think it'll help as the summer goes by and she learns how to get, accustomed to our family. But I just wanted to make sure, like, where are the Band-Aids? Where is the itch cream? Like, all the things that the kids might want during the day, I can totally text with her about, but for her to feel like she's got a quick reference. I also put together a cleaning chart, or like a chore chart in there, and things the kids need to do around the house to help. And then we also have cleaning help as far as like house cleaners that come. I think in the summertime, the house gets out of control so much faster. Like, they go through so many more snacks and they just like eat them in the weirdest places, and it just turns into a mess. So I think getting help with cleaning, whether it's outside the house or roping your kids into it with an allowance system, is a great idea too. Okay. Tip number 3 to make summer go great would be to stockpile resources. So that looks like, at our house, tons of snacks, tons of popsicles, a lot of chalk and Play-Doh and art supplies. And so like buying those things in bulk and just knowing like they have something they can go do outside. We have a pool in our backyard, which not everybody has, but I know anytime we go to the pool, we can't ever find goggles. So just like buy all the goggles, buy all the sunscreen, like just get all those fun summer supplies. So there's kind of a go-to thing. You can even put them all in the same like little like tote or bucket, and then you've got them ready to go. Number 4 would be to create a summer bucket list. So I think we all get busy day to day with all the things we're doing, going to work, coming home, feeding dinner, and all those things. And then when the weekend comes, we're also feeling exhausted. But having an overall list of here's all the fun things we could do this summer, a bucket list we want to check off, is, I think, still important to have as a working parent too. The babysitter can help go through some of these things, but it can also give you quick ideas for the evenings or on the weekends when you want to do something meaningful with the kids, but you don't have the brain power to come up with it yet. So, you can find tons of summer bucket list activities online. Every mom blogger has a list of them on her blog. But, whether it's like go look at fireflies or go to a drive-in movie or grill out, or just really simple things can help you feel like at the end of the summer, like, look at this great summer we had. We checked off all these fun things. We tried fishing one day, or we took silly pictures, or we drew ourselves in chalk on the sidewalk. So that I think can also, as a working parent, help you feel productive and like you had a good summer. Because to me, what I'm afraid of as a working mom is that I'm going to miss the summertime with my kids. I'm going to miss seeing the things that they do, or they're not going to get to do the things that other kids might get to do during the summer. And so I think something that makes me feel better about it is having proof that, look, we did fun things, or look, everybody had a great summer, and we've got these lists we checked off. Number 5 is to plan time with the kids. So be intentional about your time during the summer. Whether you can change your schedule at work to leave a little bit early on certain days by coming in earlier. Maybe you schedule some time off on certain days to say, I'm going to take this Friday off so that we can go to the zoo, or I'm going to take this Monday off so that we can go pick strawberries, things like that. Don't just take it off, have a plan for it. And then the last thing I would say is that remember, it's okay for kids to be bored. I think that we have a feeling that we need to entertain our kids all the time, or we saw them be bored during this last COVID year, and boredom is hard. It's hard for me as an adult. It's hard for kids, but it's a really good skill to learn how to deal with being bored. I think creativity thrives during boredom. You find ways to entertain yourself, but sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes sitting bored for a couple hours saying, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored, in order to come up with a fun idea. But I really do believe boredom is fine and good. Don't be afraid to limit screen time and just take away the TV for a week. You'll be amazed what they find to do instead. They may have some withdrawals for a few days, but we've tried it before, and it really creates some fun results with siblings or with friends or with going outside. My last tip, and I think the most important thing for me and for other working moms, is don't pay any attention to how many summers or how many weeks your kids have left at home. If you haven't seen that on Pinterest yet, or you haven't seen it come through your Instagram feed, I'm sure you will. Probably I'm going to get pinged on it, as soon as I'm done talking. My phone's listening to me, I'm sure. But I hate those posts. I don't like them at all, that say like, you only have 36 weeks of summer left with your kid before they leave you and go away forever and you'll never see them again. It is the worst. Like, that shame and that guilt doesn't make me go be productive and really enjoy time with my kids. It just makes me feel terrible. So ignore those triggering quotes. Ignore the quote that says, you only have 5 summers left. The countdown is on. It's ticking down. And then you spiral into, I'm a terrible parent. I'm never around. I never see my kids. They're going to be gone before I know it. And I just don't think that shame helps anything. So, you and your kids will have their best summer if you're feeling confident, if you're feeling organized, if you're feeling at peace, if you're happy. That's what they will pick up on, and that's what they will remember. Having moments where you spent time together, where you were at peace, you were happy, you made memories, you guys laughed. No kid, I don't remember my entire summer, like any of my entire summers. I just remember little moments. And so I think it's creating those moments with the time we have, that will help us feel like we have a successful summer and our kids will have great memories of. So really just working hard to put your priorities in order and live according to your priorities, putting your family first, putting your kids first, and everything else will work itself out. Some of my favorite memories as a kid, from when I was a kid, are part happy and also part like tragic or hard or long or whatever. I grew up with all brothers and I have all boys, and we would go explore the creek next to our house in the field where the cows live. And part of that I loved, and also part of it I was like, this is so muddy. And my brother would bring home crawdads and turtles and things and keep them in a tank in our house. But I remember being outside swinging on the swing set. I remember looking in a magazine, and one time we saw that you could dye your hair with tea. And so I had my mom buy 3 kinds of tea, and then we filled up this 10-gallon bucket with water. And I don't remember what kinds of tea they were. And we dipped our heads in them to try to dye our hair. Those were the silly things we came up with because we were bored, and went and did. And then we also had great road trips with my parents, and we would drive 20 hours to Utah. And some of that was fun and some of it was boring. And we would fight, and sometimes we'd get food poisoning. There were all the things, but I remember all the emotions and being together as a family and doing those things. So I encourage my kids to go do the same things, like go play in the creek, go down with the neighbor kids. We'll try to plan a road trip. And, sometimes Soren gets very like, oh, they're fighting and oh, they're unhappy and all these things. And I am of the party that says they won't remember that part as much. They're going to remember that we went to the Grand Canyon and that we saw something and we did something as a family. Like, they'll just remember little blips. And so it's our job to give them opportunities to make memories and to be present for making those memories with them. And then, that's just all part of them becoming who they're going to be. Doesn't have to be perfect and fun and nonstop popsicle, movie, ice cream, popcorn, play date. I think it can be a lot of different things, and that teaches kids how to function in all different kinds of environments. Okay, so to wrap it up, just want to remind you, it's okay for kids to be bored. Also good for us adults to be bored. So take some time to be bored this summer. And also do not let any of the time is running out shame come after you and get you as a mom. That is not real. It's not helpful. You're doing an awesome job and you're going to have a great summer. Thanks so much for listening today. We are going to be doing some fun things with the podcast to try and have you all share it more, interact more, participate more. So look for some fun giveaways on social. You can follow with Kilee Nichols podcast on Instagram. It is the Kilee Nichols podcast. We also show these on YouTube. You can watch the full episode, and we would love your comments there. I'd love to hear a fun memory for you from summer growing up, or how one of these ideas maybe helped you plan your summer. So go leave a comment on YouTube, leave a comment on Facebook, and we will enter you into some fun giveaways. So check out social and check out the description on the YouTube channel for details about the giveaway. And last of all, don't forget, you can always leave a review. Reviews help us get seen and rated higher on Apple Podcasts, and helps this podcast touch and reach more women all over the world. I will see you next time. Thanks so much.